Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Lowlands Throwdown podcast. Nolan Mooney, Robbin Nolan here.
Yeah, we're back.
And we're back. And we're going to talk about postponing our event.
Yeah, that's the big ticket item right now. I think. Well, let's do like a sit rep on the situation right now in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Last night we heard that due to some of the actions of the Dutch population last weekend, the weather was beautiful. People thought, hey, let's get outside and let's go to the beach, let's go to the woods, and they ended up congregating in pretty large groups, which is the exact opposite of what all these guidelines have been in place for.
Yeah.
So the government has tightened up the reins a little bit. They've now said, okay, no groups. Before there was a limit of 100 people, or up to 100 was okay. More than 100 was not okay. That's gone now. So now the groups are 3 or more.
Yeah.
Any congregation of people of 3 people or more is now forbidden. And that will be until the 1st of June.
1st of June, yeah.
1st of June. Inside stores, whether it be the grocery store or any kind of store, really, there's going to be, they're really going to enforce that 1.5 meter distance in between people, the social distancing. And all of this, if you decide to do your own thing or deviate from these guidelines, it could cost you up to €400.
Yeah, for an individual.
As an individual.
For a company, it's up to 4,000 euros.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, man.
Hey, man, I think it's a very necessary kind of action that they needed to take because people just weren't taking it serious.
Yeah, definitely. It's when I was watching the news last weekend, I thought, damn, people.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Thank you for another month of sitting inside because of you are with all your neighbors, friends, or whatever. They all went to the beach and I thought,
yeah. Well, I think, you know what they've been doing from the very beginning when they decided to close down the schools, they really were emphasizing, kids, this is not a vacation.
Yeah.
You need to keep doing your schoolwork. It's not vacation. It's not vacation. And I think that was a really good thing that they did.
Yeah.
And I think they should have done that, or maybe that's what I took all the guidelines to be for myself. But maybe a lot of people didn't think that. Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the situation as of right now. Things have tightened up a little bit. There's that means because they've extended this time.
Yeah.
For all of us that are in the fitness branch, whether you have a CrossFit affiliate or you're a personal trainer, whatever, that means those the financial situation is definitely maybe a little bit more serious for us.
Yeah.
And we're all going to have to think of more creative kind of solutions to these problems.
Yeah, definitely. So before we talked about it will be till the 6th of April, right? So there are still some measurements in place until the 6th of April. And after that, we will get an update. But for our event, it means that we need to postpone. And of course, we already worked on that because what I saw was that within a month, we don't get 1,600 people above together in one and the same room.
Oh, yeah. So like for the event. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about this yesterday, but even like you already had contingency plans for this as an eventuality. Last week. You were already thinking, okay, cool. What's going to happen? Not if we have to postpone, but when we have to postpone. Yeah.
Yeah. So last Monday we set up our final leaderboard online, and that was at 7:00 in the evening. And at 7:00 in the evening, there was also a press conference with the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, who was saying, okay, we got some new rules till the 1st of July. So
First of June.
Sorry, yeah. So I called my designer and said, I need a post, let's say, postpone right now.
Yeah.
So a few minutes after we finalized our leaderboard and put it online, we needed to send out another message that we need to postpone the event. Yeah. And directly afterwards, I emailed all the volunteers to say, hey, we need to postpone our event. We don't know a new day yet, but we are really close to announce that new date, but some things has to be finalized. We're working on the last details of that. for all you listening, it will be somewhere in July, in the beginning of July, the first 2 weeks of July.
At least tentatively.
Yeah,
as of
tentatively.
right now.
Yeah. So we cannot see what will happen in the future, right?
Yeah, nobody can.
So our main goal is to have a final event somewhere in July, the first 2 weeks of July. Because otherwise we will be too close to the CrossFit Games. And the week before the CrossFit Games, you have the CrossFit German Throwdown. So it needs to be somewhere in between the 1st of July and the
like the last week, really.
The last week.
Yeah.
So somewhere there we try to pull out the final event.
Yeah, I think right now the number one priority for CrossFit Lowlands Throwdown as an event is communication.
Yeah, dude.
Make sure these channels of communication are open and active.
Yeah.
And what you're doing by, making that leaderboard final and then finding out from that press conference, hey, in the Netherlands at least things are changing. These are the guidelines. Well, then we're gonna have to adapt and communicate that to everyone. Yeah. So at the very least, they know where they stand.
Yeah. So that's something to keep in mind as an athlete is that we will send the invites when we have more information about how safe it is to organize an event for you guys to host here back in the Netherlands.
Absolutely. And I think, I can appreciate that just as an athlete. There's a lot of things that go into this. One, am I physically capable, physically ready? Am I allowed to? But also financially, right?
Yeah.
Like if I have to pay for registration for an event, and I have to pay for accommodations and flight and travel and all those kind of things, those are significant costs that I have to think about. And if you guys as an event already send those invitations out based off the leaderboard, I pay those things, I make those plans, and then we fast forward to July and we find out, oh, you know what? The Netherlands is still on lockdown. That's a bummer. So I can really appreciate, even though I didn't qualify, I can appreciate from that side that you guys aren't just in it to get money and trying to, plus up the bank account. You guys are trying to think about just the situation that we're in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and the same is for the spectators as well. If it's not safe to organize the event for athletes, it definitely is not safe for the spectators.
Right.
So for all the people who are wondering when the spectator sales, ticket sales is gonna start, it will be when we know if we can host the event and if it's safe enough to host it. That's the most important thing I think to say is we try our best and do everything we can to organize an event, but only when it's safe enough for everyone, for the athletes, for our staff, for our volunteers, for our spectators, for our partners, for our vendors. So, we really like to do it, but only when it's safe.
Yeah, again, it's always been an event for the community, and that's the athletes, the spectators, volunteers, everybody, and the community has always been that number one priority.
Yeah.
So there's no difference now. And you know what? Like CrossFit Lowlands Throwdown isn't the only event that's postponing or even canceling.
Yeah. So we just got the news that our friend from the beach throwdown, a buddy competition back here on the beach of Scheveningen in the Netherlands, needs to cancel their event. So I'm sorry for the team. I know they're working very hard.
They run a great competition. It's I don't participate in that many. I physically can't handle that many comps a year, but that is one of them that I do compete in. Yeah. It's a fantastic time, and it pains me to know that one, I won't be able to go there, but even more so that my buddies can't throw down this great competition that they've this event really that they've been doing for a couple of years. It's really grown to an awesome event. So man, my sympathies go out to them as well. And you know what? It's not even limited to CrossFit.
No.
Or fitness competitions, but even like the Olympics right now, there's already countries that have said, hey, we're not sending our athletes to the Summer Olympics. And they're going through the motions in Japan right now, but it seems
Yeah.
like, man, it's all going to get pushed away, and it's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, and what about the European Championship of football?
Yep.
We will be.
It's delayed till next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all football competitions or matches. What do you guys say, right? Matches.
Wedstrijden.
Yeah. Like a competition, I guess.
Yeah, it's a competition.
A game, right? A game of footy.
Footy game. That's more German, though. Footy game.
I don't know, man. I'm American, right? No, but I mean, look, there's events all over the world with all sorts of different sports and activities that are just, in mass being canceled or pushed out or delayed to a further date. So it's going around, and we can't do anything about it except respond to the situation that we're in.
Yeah, and last Monday I had a call with all the sanctional directors around the world, and that was really awesome to speak to everyone. How is everybody doing? And and we are making some plans to help each other out because we are one big community, and for all the other sanctional directors, we are not alone in this.
No, right? You guys are all
everyone
you're all spinning in the wind right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there are a lot of events that are planned or need to be planned because they're postponed.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we can do something in between June and July and August to see the rest of the year as a competition year.
Yeah. So what do you think? What does this mean? Let's talk first about like the athletes, right? Like, so what are like you as an event director, as the guy that's really making this happen? What do you have to say for the athletes to be prepared for? What should they be thinking about right now?
I think your personal health and personal safety is number one priority.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that you want to know if this will happen or not.
Right.
If you need to plan for it, but first of all, think about yourself, your family, your loved ones, and make sure you be there for them.
Right.
But please stay fit as well.
Yeah. So
what you can do back home, right?
Right. But you as an event director, what kind of things can the athletes expect from you, like communication wise?
Yeah. So what I already talked about before is that we are planning to host an event in the beginning of July.
Yeah.
I already planned on it, so hopefully we can announce this within a week, and we will update as soon as we know anything.
Cool. Yeah.
We will update the athletes. So every athlete who supposed to get an invite has got an email this morning from me with the latest information. And that email also said, hey, if you have any questions, please let us know. Shoot us a message on Instagram, send us an email, and we are happy to communicate with you. But we will update you hopefully within a week with more information.
And the email that you sent this morning, would they be able to just reply to that email? Those athletes that were, fantastic.
Yeah, you can just reply to this email. Some of them already did.
Mm-hmm.
So I was responding on that as well. I know there are a lot of questions about if you are in the elite of RX category, but that totally depends on who will accept the
invitation.
invite.
Yeah, which isn't known until
we know.
More is known. Yeah. Okay.
So prepare for the unknown and
unknowable,
right?
Yeah, right.
So,
but that's really cool to know. At the very least, the channels of communication are open. And active, and I think that's really important.
So again, please, if you have any questions, a direct message on Instagram or send us an email at info@CrossFitLowlands Throwdown.nl. And we're happy to help you out. Our team is ready for you.
Cool. Yeah, I think also, the other side of this is like, what are those athletes going to do with their fitness, with their health, right? Like, these are very, very fit individuals. They've worked very hard to achieve this level of fitness.
Yeah.
Now they have to, perhaps they even trained on some kind of periodized schedule where they were planning on peaking at Lowlands or just about. Man, that's a whole nother level of complication, I guess, that gets thrown into the mix.
I think we will try in the upcoming weeks to call some athletes and to have to see or to hear at least the experiences of those athletes. But yeah, you there's a lot online to do, like home workouts or something.
Yeah. Well, I think with this level of athlete, if I really think about it, and I think about my own training, building to the final event, you have in that regards with CrossFit and the sport of fitness, there's a distinct difference. Like CrossFit and what we're posting on the home workouts for everybody is just like a general broad fitness, right? Or a GPP. Whereas these athletes are training for a specific event at a specific time. And I know typically when you get within like a month, maybe 6 weeks out, you start ramping your training up, and you want to be ready to rock and roll on those final days. For anybody that is sitting in that kind of like peaking phase where they're building up, I would take 2 steps back, throttle back the intensity a little bit, maybe throttle back the volume, give yourself a little of a buffer. We know just from what you just said, we're looking at probably beginning of July instead of when was it was
the end of May.
End of May, right? So we've got another month at least.
5-6 weeks,
Yeah, right? So I would definitely adjust your training accordingly.
Yeah.
Especially for these athletes, because if you're blasting it, ramping up for a peak that you thought was going to be into May, and you continue that another 5 weeks, 6 weeks, the real question is, like, can you maintain that? Can you hold on to that? And what kind of effect will it have on your body, your mental status, those kind of things, leading up to the potential final event?
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely, and it's no time to, again, priority number 1 should be your health, should be your family, your family, your loved ones.
Yeah.
And if you're in a situation where you can continue training without being a negative, without being at the expense of those other things.
Yeah.
Just, keep in mind that you might have to extend this a little bit longer. You might have to just spread it out a little bit, pull back a little bit less than what you think to maintain that up until that date.
And we totally understand that in the Netherlands, all gyms are closed. I know in a lot of countries around Europe, even around the globe, they're closed.
Yeah.
But I also know that some of the competitive athletes has some home gyms or just ordered the whole warehouse of Rogue to build their own gym.
Well, I know at my house in the garage, I've got a weightlifting platform, I've got bumper plates, I've got a pull-up bar, I've got a squat rack, I've got a bench, I've got everything I really need to do to not only get pretty fit, but I can maintain some fitness right now. Yeah. So there's even with a wing that's a little bit out of commission, right? Yeah. So and I guess and I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people like that. I think the biggest challenge, especially now that we got a lot of time on our hands, if you're at home at quarantine, is to maybe not do too much.
Yeah.
Right? Just really pay attention to your training, look at what you were doing before, and just take it into consideration. Make sure we don't blast it. Don't go the other way. Oh, I got all this extra time. Hey, maybe you know what? You got that extra time to recover, to be even more fit, to be even stronger when you come back later.
Totally agree. Yeah.
What kind of things can so there's 2 other pretty large groups that make part of the Lowlands Throwdown.
Yeah.
And that's the volunteers and the spectators.
Yeah.
What can they expect?
Yeah. So yesterday evening, the first thing I did was send an email to our volunteers because they're the backbone of our event.
Yeah.
Without those people, our event cannot happen.
Right. Absolutely. That goes without saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they can expect is the same as we do for the athletes. Is we will keep them updated.
Mm-hmm.
We will provide them the newest information that we got, and we will when we announce the new dates, we will contact them to see if they're still available on that new dates to help us out, and hopefully we will see everyone back because we got a lot of people who want to volunteer in our event, and that's amazing. Right. But we will update them as soon as we know.
Right. So pretty much the same. Almost, they're in the same boat as the athletes.
Yeah.
In those regards, they you guys will give them information when you have that information.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And give us some time, because I know before the rest of the world know when we gonna hold that event.
Right.
But we need some time to make sure that everything on the background is arranged so that our team can start communicate with those athletes, with those volunteers. So we got everything in place. So we got the time right now to set it up.
Yeah.
But please give us some time to make sure that everything is said and done right.
Yeah. So maybe just a friendly request to all those volunteers that are really enthusiastic, fired up, to just wait for the communication from you guys, and that you guys will let them know as soon as you know and are capable of communicating that information.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And then the spectators. Again, if the volunteers are the backbone, right? The spectators, they're maybe the muscle that makes the thing work, right?
Again, this event cannot happen without the volunteers, but also without the spectators.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen either, man.
No,
yeah.
so
like everybody plays a critical role in the success of this event.
Yeah. So and that's something we worked on this year really hard to make more of an experience for those spectators. Because what I want is that you are at the finals, at our final event, and you have 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all in Omnisports in Robbin.
Yeah.
And when you walk out of it on Sunday evening, you already want to buy your ticket for the next.
Right. Do you have
for the next year?
Do you have any maybe like I don't want to be like a spoiler alert, but is there anything you can kind of like tell them, like one thing that maybe is a little bit different this year that you guys are at least planning to kind of look forward to?
Yeah. So we announced that we have a second field.
Okay. Very cool.
So hopefully there will be an inside and an outside field.
Nice.
We are working on a beer garden.
Oh my goodness.
So there will be more outside.
Okay, cool.
Because we are planning to be May, June, and now we plan to be in July. So hopefully the weather will be with us.
You never know in the Netherlands.
You never know in the Netherlands. No.
Hey, positive thinking. Positive.
We have up to 60 vendor spots, so there will be a lot of space for vendors.
Very cool.
Yeah, and there will be a spectator gym as well, so you can work out.
Excellent.
And what we try to do is that you can do the workouts that the athletes have done.
Very cool. Very cool. That's
so we need to see if that will work out.
Yeah.
But that's things we plan on. Yeah.
Very cool, man. I know that was a huge hit. When I was a judge at the games, they had basically a huge section. It was almost as big as the training floor that we have at the competition floor at Lowlands, just for spectators, and they could sign up on just to go do a workout, and they had workouts posted there. So that'd be really cool to give all the spectators a little bit of a taste of what those athletes are going through on the floor.
Yeah, and we what we're working on is to get some people out of the CrossFit community. Some more of the famous people, to hang out with them, to meet them, to talk with them.
Would that be potentially like athletes, perhaps?
Maybe athletes, but also
just names within the community.
Just names without the community, within the community, not without the
community. Very cool.
Yeah, so that's something we are planning on, hopefully what we want to achieve is that this will be one of the CrossFit events you don't want to miss.
Absolutely.
People from all over Europe want to come over to see what's happening back here in the Netherlands.
I know it's always been the goal of the event to give the best quality event, and that's on all aspects. That would be for the athletes to be able to express their fitness and show us what they're capable of. For the volunteers, to let them support this event, which, like you said, being the backbone of the entire event, it couldn't happen without them, but also have them feeling appreciated.
Yeah.
And then also spectators to allow them, really to see this, to witness this, to experience this, and have a pretty good time.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much sums it up, but I think also right now there's a lot of there's potential to be negative.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good idea to maybe let's let's try to think about some positive things. With all the darkness that's kind of circling right now, I still think there's some light. And if we focus on that, I think it's really good. No one knows what the future will hold, right?
No.
Nobody's got a crystal ball and can say exactly what's going to happen. But I do feel, at least in our corner of the world, this little spot that we call home, just in those little kind of meeting points that we have. When I was out on a walk, and like walking through the woods, you see someone at about 1.5 meters distance, and instead of like walking by each other in silence with your head down, people are looking up.
Yeah.
And there might be a smile, or you might say hello. And it, for me at least, it feels like that's happening more. And I think those are those interactions that we need to hold on to. That the stories of people doing grocery shopping for their elderly neighbor that's not allowed to go outside, the helping hand that's being held out to I don't know, maybe it's just a feeling, maybe I'm just more aware of it now, but it seems like it's happening more in these dark times. So I think we as a community just should hold on to that. And regardless of what happens with the event, the CrossFit community is a pretty strong one.
Yeah,
we're pretty
definitely.
Resilient.
Yeah.
We're more useful in general and harder to kill.
Yeah.
And regardless of what happens with the event, we'll be back and we'll be ready to rock and roll no matter what.
Yeah, totally agree. Thanks, Nolan.
Cool, man. Robbin, again, it was fun. And until next time.
Until next time, dude.